The
Yeah. Headed to have an interview. He's a good dude. He's gonna film me. Yeah.
So let's get into this brake. What we have here is a failing repair. We have to flex on this to make sure that all of the fingers that would be failing are going to be tied in. Taking the drill, we begin to score the glass. We don't want to drill directly into the old drill hole because it goes too deep, it hits the polyvinyl. So what I'm doing here is creating a shelf on the outside of their drill hole. This is going to give me the opportunity to loop in the brake and create a bullseye after we heat it. Now that we've created the shelf, we inspect, we grab the torch, and we heat. As I'm heating the glass, it's creating a separate climate so that the brake will remain in that climate from the rest of the glass. Once I've heated it enough, some of the fingers begin to close. Then I will grab the probe and create a bullseye. Here we go, taking the tip of the probe. At every location that I set the probe, I tap ever so slightly to get it to loop around, creating a bullseye, which ties in each of the fingers. Then we can ensure that the reservoir created ties in all of the fingers. Now, this method isn't practiced by everybody, but it's an old school method from Novus Windshield Repair back in 1970, where you turn every stone brake star into a bullseye because they fill much better this way. Now that we have the bridge, we're going to tip the bridge upside down, grab our regular resin, which is more viscous. A few drops is all it takes. We set the bridge on the glass in such a manner to be able to see the whole brake. Once we suction that down tight and secure to the glass, we tighten up the back feet, aligning the injector directly over the brake. Again, this is an old repair that we're re-repairing. Once we screw down, touch down to the glass, you can almost immediately begin to see resin flowing into the brake. Then begin to add some pressure to flex open some of those fingers. We're going to pull a vacuum and draw any of the air out that has been pressurized. And we do this method over and over until the brake is completely filled in. Using a probe, we go around the brake looking for any fissures or fractures, cracks that are protruding. As we've swung the bridge to the side, flex into the middle, swing back over to the center of the brake, pressurize once again, and keep addressing any of those stubborn fingers. As you can see to the lower left, there's a finger that is rather stubborn, unwilling to take the resin. Everything else to this point seems completely filled in. We're just addressing that one break, or one fracture rather, at the lower left corner. As I take my probe and I pressurize the injector, you'll begin to see that this one is requiring much more work. And this is just how it goes. Sometimes these brakes are a nuisance, but when you have so much in your arsenal, you know how to attack or address each one of these that are like a snowflake individually. So we'll get a little closer here with our image as we flex and pressurize that brake to get it open. And in just a moment, you're going to see how it takes all the way to the tip. There it goes. We got the resin into the brake completely. Now that I'm satisfied with that, we're going to go to a cure process under pressure. Pressurized curing is ideal for keeping all of the air pockets at bay. This way, I can ensure that they're going to be solidly cured. inspecting either side. It only takes about a minute for this high-powered UV light to do its work. Now that I'm satisfied with that, we'll remove the bridge, grab a razor blade to scrape off any of the cured resin that was on the surface. We're going to take our higher viscosity, which is more like honey. In the words of Gary Busey, I don't like jam, I like honey. And when I eat it, I kiss it on the lips. Now that the patch has been applied to the surface of the glass, I again use the ultraviolet light, which has UVA, UVB curing principles so that it gets it cured and solidified. The great thing about windshield repair being cured with a UV light is that we cure it when we want to, after it's been completely injected into. And this means we can do windshield repairs in garages, in the dark, as well as cloudy days when the ultraviolet light is low. Now that the curing process is coming to a close, we will turn off the light, remove the UV lamp, then grab a razor blade, lift the patch. Now it's time to scrape. I like to spray the windshield before I scrape because it creates kind of a wet sand, actually, and it cuts better, as well as keeping all of the shavings in place. When you scrape, you want to go at a 90-degree angle so as not to lift the pit out of the glass. Wipe the glass down. We have one final thing to do for the repair, which is polish out the pit resin that was used to resurface. You can see some refraction of light, some scarring, some distortion, but there are no more fingers in this break, and it's been completely filled in. The surface has been resurfaced so it's smooth, and it won't catch your wiper blades or anything. So let's give a thumbs up.